We're going to be doing the green smoothie for weight loss, and I'm going to also talk about several other things that this is really good for and why, because it's not just good for weight loss, it's good for so many parts of your health. And so I'm going to get started. The green smoothie takes a pound of greens. It's not like the usual green smoothie or the ones I've done in the past where I put a cup of greens or maybe 2 cups of greens. Even for me, I would only use about a fifth, 20% of that pound of greens in a smoothie before this. Now I'm using a pound of greens, and that looks like this. Either this is from Market Side at Walmart, organic rainbow kale. Actually has a blend of green, red, and Tuscan kale. Wonderful blend, very high in antioxidants and sulforaphane, which is what we're really interested here in this green smoothie, is getting as much sulforaphane into you in one day as we possibly can. And that means not heating or cooking the vegetables that have it. They are cruciferous vegetables that are very high in sulforaphane. Those are going to be your kales, Swiss chard, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, red or green, mustard, turnips. I might be wrong about the turnips, I have to look that up, and radishes. This is also a pound of greens. I'm not going to use a whole pound of this and a whole pound of the kale. I'm going to use half. So these are mixed greens. These have about 10 or 11 different types of greens in here, including kale and spinach and things that we've heard of and many things that we haven't. And really for your body to try to process these nutrients in this, it really needs a wide variety of these things to correct things in our body and to detoxify things in our bodies. But sulforaphane is the primary detoxification compound that we want to get out of these foods, remembering that they need to be raw, not cooked, not heated. Heat destroys sulforaphane. It destroys it because it's a very fragile enzyme, and heat destroys enzymes. So this smoothie is going to consist of 75% of greens. I already made a smoothie this morning in this same size container. I don't have a big high-powered blender, so I am using this size blender. This is just the average size, and I'm going to do it twice. So I did one earlier today, slightly different, and this one we're gonna put slightly different things. Not because I think it will work that much differently, because it's primarily the greens and the antioxidants from the fruits that are gonna help you with things like autoimmune disorders, even just autoimmune symptoms if you haven't been diagnosed with something. So things like joint pain, swelling, it could be unexplained rashes, itching, anything to do with your immune system that's malfunctioning. So if you're getting a lot of colds and flus, this would help for that. One of the primary things I want you to know about this smoothie when I was thinking about it is that it is one of the top smoothies that I've seen that could really help people who have skin disorders. Skin disorders are a sign of other things going on in your body, but just from the standpoint of just having fresh, healthy looking skin without having to deal with a lot of acne, this is one of the places you could start. And then the other thing you would do along with that would be to eliminate some of the inflammatory foods that are contributing to your skin problem. But it would be wonderful for skin. So I'm going to put the greens in. I've already measured them out because I measured out my pound of greens earlier in the day, and I used half of them in the first smoothie. So this is the kale. I'm going to put that in here. We're going to use the other half of that. Quarter pound is what it is, and because I used quarter in the first smoothie. And then I'm going to, I have the mixed greens. I'm going to put those in. This is going to really need to be stuffed down in here. I'm used to stuffing my greens down in here, just not quite this much. I normally, like I say, use a lot, what I thought was a lot of greens, which turned out only to be about, 3 ounces. And a pound is 16 ounces, so I wasn't anywhere near this. but it is surprisingly easy to drink. So I drank the first one earlier in the day. Once you have that in, you're going to fill it with water. You want to be flooding your body with at least 96 or 98 ounces of water a day. If you're small, like me, I'm only 5'2", but I can easily get a gallon a day. So a gallon is 128 ounces, and you could easily get that in a day. But you need the flushing action to be going on, flushing through the bowel, flushing through the entire circulatory system and through all those cells to get rid of the toxins that we're working on getting rid of with this smoothie. So I'm going to use water. You could use soy milk or almond milk or something like that, but you might as well use the water because you need 128 ounces a day for this to be really effective. And so we're gonna fill the water to the top of where the greens are, and we're gonna add fruit to this. I didn't use blueberries earlier, and I usually will try to get about a half a cup of blueberries today. These are frozen wild blueberries that I get from Costco. I'm gonna put some of those in. Keeping in mind that when you start adding purples and things like that, your smoothie may not come out green. The other day I made a green smoothie that came out, oh, beautiful shade of magenta, purple, bright purple pink color. It was beautiful and it was delicious, surprisingly delicious. Because I did not expect it to taste like that. It was quite good. So this is just some strawberries. Believe it or not, I had a package of fresh strawberries and I couldn't use them before they were gonna go bad. So I just said, okay, I'm gonna freeze them. So I washed them all off, blended them, froze them in little cupcake containers. And I just took out a couple of those and thawed them to put in here along with my lemon. I do the same thing. I buy a bag of lemons and I really like lemon in this green smoothie. That's why I'm putting it in. Now, Dr. Goldner, Brooke Goldner, she's the one that I'm modeling a smoothie after her version. And she's got lots of different versions. And really, I want you to make this your personal version. So you do the greens first at a minimum, and then you do whatever fruit you want and whatever color you want. But I like a little bit of lemon in ours, and my husband does also, so I put a little bit of lemon. I'm not gonna put a banana in here, but that would be a really good one to put in here. Lots of people put bananas in their smoothie. It won't hurt anything. I'm just not having bananas, I don't know why. It's just not one of my top fruits that I like to eat. So I'm using this orange because actually I had 2 oranges left here. They've been sitting here for a couple weeks. They need to be used. And I'm just, taking the peel off and putting them in here. I want to talk about this before I blend this. So in this particular smoothie, I'm chopping this orange just a little. In this particular smoothie, she is addressing autoimmune disorders. Specifically, in her case, it was lupus, in which it was so effective. And if anybody knows what lupus is, what you will realize is that in the medical profession, that is considered a non-curable disease. Like many of the autoimmune disorders, we just naturally figure there's nothing you can do to turn that around. And what she found out was that was anything but true. And unfortunately, she's right when she says that's not known in the medical profession. So in the medical profession, we don't know that certain disorders can be turned around, whether it's diabetes or heart disease or autoimmune disorders. We naturally, we are taught anyway, that they cannot be reversed. And for that reason, you need to treat them with medicines, very strong drugs. And some of those drugs work for a little while, and then eventually your body starts to not reject the drug, but just not work as effectively. So the drugs are limited in what they can do, and they have tremendous side effects. Whereas something like this, first of all, it's working with your immune system to make your immune system more effective, and the side effects are going to be such good things. Just more energy, just more fresh looking skin, We talked about that. You might regulate your kidney function a little bit more. There are a number of things you may see with this. And as you start to see those things, you have to be in contact with the doctor that's treating you if you're being treated for anything like that, because you can very easily start to improve enough that you may not need some of those medications. And you really want to be in contact with your doctor. You don't want to discontinue any medications until you have talked to him or her about it. Some medications are very dangerous to go off of very quickly on your own. So just to keep that in mind, be very, very careful. Now I've got my water, my fruits, the flax and the chia. So flax and chia are both seeds. They have omega-3 fatty acids. And when you are eating a full whole food plant-based diet without added oils, you really need to include omega-3s. And the way that they worked with the people who were doing no animal food products, so no butter, cheese, milk, eggs, meats of any type, no animal muscle tissue. When you're working that way, you need to make sure that you get some essential fatty acids, and the omega-3s are the ones we're talking about. The omega-6s are in all those animal products, and they are known to increase inflammation in the body. The omega-3s, on the other hand, are known to decrease inflammation in the body, and that's why we want you to have it. And if you get a certain amount of them, your body can make those conversions to the different types of healthy oils that you need in your body. So when she's really working with somebody who has very significant symptoms in the beginning, so before they're well, so they're trying to feel better, she puts a half a cup of a combination of chia and flax seed in this mix each day, half a cup. So this is a quarter cup. I'm going to get a half a cup of quarter cup of chia. And then I'm going to get a quarter cup of flax seeds. Now, flax, it just has a very hard shell on it. It takes a winter of freezing and thawing just to break that shell open to grow the flax plant. But in this case, here we are with these flax seeds that are hard as a rock. And what we do is we're going to put them in our grinder. And we're going to grind them. And before they start to deteriorate and oxidize from the air, because that's what happens once you grind them up, if they're exposed to air, they start to oxidize very quickly. So you lose the benefit of the flax oils and all the nutrients that are in the flax seed. And you can use actually chia oil, which I've never seen, and flax oil, which I have seen in my local grocery store, cold pressed flax oil that's organic. I think that's fine to do that, to use that. There's no reason not to. But for this one, I'm just going to use the flax seed, the chia seed. I'm going to grind it, put it in here, and then we're going to blend it. Okay, so, and then I'm going to drink it right away. So it's not going to sit in my refrigerator for a few days. It's going to be something I take in right away. Wow. Makes it kind of powdery. I had a coffee grinder, and I probably could have used that, but I decided I wanted to just use a separate grinder for coffee beans and for chia and flax, because otherwise you're cleaning that out a lot all the time. So I'm going to just put that in there. Whoa, I'm really full now. And I'm going to blend. Now I have the water to about here. I'm on low right now. It needs high. They say if your blender is overheating, which I don't think it is, this is a new one, but if your blender is overheating, then go ahead and turn it off for a minute and let it settle down. But I think when Dr. Goldner makes hers, she makes the whole batch in the morning. So you just do this one time. But I don't have enough room, of course, and so I decided to buy 2 of these. So I have nearly identical blenders, and I will measure it out and do them both at the same time in the morning. And so one will be for breakfast or in the morning, however long it takes to drink, and then one will be for the afternoon. And then by the time it's dinner, I'll be hopefully ready for a regular dinner, maybe a salad for dinner. So anyway, there we go. I'm making quite a mess here. So yes, you can use other fluids for this, but I think it is probably best to use some of the gallon of water that you're going to drink for the day in your smoothies. And then I have to say, I only have this much left to go for my gallon of water to finish it for the day. So I'm doing pretty well, and I'll go ahead and drink this and we'll see how that goes. So it did turn out green, surprisingly. So green smoothie for autoimmune disorders, inflammation, especially related to blood vessels that affect the heart, for heart disease, the brain for cognitive dysfunction, and the kidneys for kidney disease. It affects all the blood vessels, inflammation does. And then for skin, like we said, fresh, vibrant, healthy looking skin, a really, really good way to start that. If you like this, go ahead and share it with a friend so it can help them also. If you haven't already, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. All right. We'll see you in the next video.